Ladies and gentlemen, support for this podcast is brought to us by our boys at xbrain.co.uk for all of your on-demand supplementation needs. Enter promo code Fighting Words to save 20% at checkout on any and all Xbrain products. Support is again brought to us by the one and only Market Squawk, powered by livesquawk.co.uk. If you are trading FX, gold, commodities of any sort, they will be there for you with to the point news. Come and go as you please, whatever. Patreon.com Fighting Words, support the boys. For £2 a month, you will get entry into our fraternal order, all the way up to £10 a month, where you get all of our premium content. And we will cuss someone for £10 a month once a month if you're a £10 a month kid. Anyway, it's International Women's Day at point of recording, and we have the one and only Raven Chapman. The Omen is with us. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm very good, thanks.
Welcome,
How are
welcome.
you? Thanks for having me on today.
Very, very well. I'm glad we finally got this done, because I was just
Yeah.
saying to Jesse, like, I was chatting with Wes at the
Yeah.
Better Be weigh-in to sort this out,
Yeah.
and it's been that long to try and get this, because you had like went skiing, you had like a holidays and stuff, and like you've started camp now.
Last little getaway before getting into camp. Felt like I was really naughty going away, going snowboarding. So everyone's like, "Oh, should you be doing that?" But I know
I mean,
what I'm doing. So
I'm gonna be honest,
It's only
it is
a
a bit
risk
of
if
a
you're not
risk.
good.
Yeah.
I know, but as much as obviously I love what I do, you still got to live life, haven't you? That's something else that I love to
True.
do as well.
I don't know, when I was a PT, I wouldn't do anything extreme in case I
When-
blew out a wrist, an elbow, a knee, anything. I was just like, I can't put food on the table if I can't walk.
I get that. I guess I feel like I'm pretty versatile. You know, I'm like quite sturdy. So like, well, if I fall over, I'll be all right, sort of thing. So yeah, and I'm all right. So
And here we
in
are.
camp, I've had a good one. Yeah, I had it. Do you know what? It was a really good little trip away. It was needed, you know, as much as I was blooming out all day snowboarding, I was also, you know, it's like not thinking about your job and what you're doing. And yeah, it's active. I like to be active. I mean, probably burn more calories doing that week away than I would any normal day
Fact.
training.
That's
Well,
why
it
everything they eat is
depends.
just soaked in butter.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
if you
literally, it's
at
just
pray, it's
chips.
just booze,
Yeah.
spag bowl on chips and cheese.
With like a
Yeah,
big lump of
literally
butter
on the
sat on top to
mountain.
melt.
Yeah, on the mountain.
Drenched.
I think by the end of it, I couldn't look at another blooming plate of chips. Honestly, I'd had so many chips to last me for the year. So no, but yeah,
Now
good
you're
little trip.
back, and camp
Yeah,
has
back.
begun in full
Yeah,
force.
back. Full force in camp. Yeah, I'm sort of towards the end of it now. Last like little hard push coming up, and then what's it? 2 weeks on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's come
2
around
weeks.
so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, you weren't out that long ago, relatively speaking, but like decent turnout. Do you know what? Right, I did want to ask you. I wanted
Yeah,
to ask you when I met you at the Better BF one. So
yeah.
you're the first. Obviously, we know that time is a construct. We know that gender is a construct, as is
Hmm.
sexuality, and we're in this magical
Yeah,
era now, right? But as the
yeah,
first identified female signing for Queensberry since Nicola McAdams, like that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, because
yeah, yeah,
Frank has been arm
It
length
took
on
it
that.
took a huge step back, really, didn't
Yeah. So
yeah.
that's
So I mean,
huge.
I'm glad
it?
they took like a punt on me, I guess. So yeah. Uh, like I say, it's pretty cool. Like today, say International Women's Day,
Yeah.
they put post out, and it's just me because I'm
It's
the only
perfect.
woman they've got
Ideal
signed on.
situation.
So yeah, so things like that, it's quite good. Obviously, it'd be nice, you know, being able to share that platform at some point with more women, more good talent coming through. But they're starting to get more women on their shows now, you know, like when I won my belt, Amanda
Yeah.
Serrano was the co-main event.
Yeah.
For the next Joe Joyce, you've got Michaela Mayer co-main
Yeah.
event. So
Hmm.
they're getting out there, they're getting like some of the top girls onto the platform as well, which I think is really good. And that's the whole point of it, isn't it? You know, as much as at the moment I'm lapping up being the only woman on there, but at some point I feel like they're gonna have to push for other women on the platform as well.
Yeah, but it just makes you the queen of Queensbury, doesn't it? It makes you the
Yeah.
OG, the original, the number
That's
one.
it. That's it. Yeah. And I know, like I say, it's quite funny. Like you see some interviews with Frank, and he'll say, you know, I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say I like women's boxing, but I do like Raven Chapman. I was like, well, that's my job done then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like if
Perfect.
he's happy,
You won him
then we're
over.
happy. The team's exactly so, and that's what it's about. It's just showing that, you know, it doesn't matter what gender you are. It's the fighter, isn't it? If you're excited to watch, whether you're
For
male or
sure.
female.
Exactly. So how did that come about? Because like from a fan's perspective, like I thought it was going to be quite a while before Queensberry were going to jump in, because obviously, you know, Matchroom jumped in, Boxer have jumped
Yeah,
in, you know, and then Queensberry has always been more pure. I don't want to say purist, but it is. It's
careful.
Old-fashioned.
it's
Old-fashioned, I'd say.
old.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, less progressive,
yeah,
should we say?
Of
yeah.
Frank's age, sort
I
of thing.
think so.
Because he's not
Yeah, I think
exactly
it's
young, is he?
definitely, yeah, it's definitely a generational thing, I think.
Mm.
That's why, yeah, it's quite good. Obviously, we'd thought about it before when I first turned pro. I remember it was like one of the first ones I thought of, oh, it'd be quite good to
Mm,
be on, like with Frank Warren, be their only female. That's got to be a
Yeah.
good platform to be in. You don't want to get lost behind,
correct.
you know, other big names, people that might have bigger followings and things like that, where it's not necessarily about talent. It's about the followers that you've got, and that's part of the business of pro boxing, I suppose. But yeah, it definitely, you know, was then pushed by my manager. I think Queensberry were maybe needing to get a female on board with BT as well, you know.
Mhm.
Like I say, that push for women at the minute in sport has been
Mhm.
really big the last couple of years. So I think it was just a case of good timing, and it worked out well. And I'd had two good fights before signing on Queensberry. So we
Mm.
had that as sort of ammunition. Steffi's a good talker as well, so he'd have definitely talked me up. So I think I've lived up to Steffi's hype, which is good. And I say, when I love being with Queensberry, every time I like go to the shows, I go to, like, say, the weigh-ins or the press conferences, if I'm not like too deep into camps, and when I'm up in fight week, it's good. I just get on with everyone, and like I know everyone at
For
Queensberry
sure.
now, and it's like everyone's just a bit of a geezer, and I
Yeah.
really like it. I
Yeah.
get on with that and have the banter and stuff like that. So I love being in fight weeks. I'm around everyone in Queensberry, and we all have a good laugh, and then you know, we get the job done, and then we have a laugh again afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, like, they do have a vibe. Like when you're
Yeah,
talking with like Francis and George, like they're not what you expect them to be
no, not
at
at
all.
all,
Which one?
not at
Which one
all.
is?
Like,
Yeah, one of them looks genuinely sinister, and the other one looks like every single FX broker I've ever worked with. And it was just like, but they're not. But they're not. Like I was
no,
having a good old
no.
chat with them. I'm like, you're my new best friends. Hello.
That's what it is, and it's
Yeah.
like, and that's what I say. Like when you're up there, it's like the banter that's going around. You know, everyone's having a laugh. Like we're joking and take the piss out of me. I'll take the piss out of them, and yeah, it's just a bit of fun. And that's what I like. That's what I have in my camp anyway. You know, everyone that I'm around in my camp, like my coach, my dad,
Mhm.
Wes, Nathan, we're all like that with each other. So it's that just kind of same vibe that I just really gel with. And you know, like no one's up their ass. You
Yeah.
know, no one, you know, you like, as soon as you're there, like you say, it's like you're talking with friends, and I really like that, and that's important to me.
That's perfect. So for you with that, are you finding that maybe you're, because you are not uh, you you know, you're not, I don't want to call you a ladette, but like one of the lads, like you like you've
Yeah,
just said there, you're a professional
yeah,
fighter, you're a laugh, you're very articulate, you're very warm to be around, like, and you're up for the bants. Do you
yeah,
think that that gives you a little bit of a different path through? So for example,
yeah, maybe,
yeah, like a Chantel Cameron, lovely,
yeah, yeah.
lovely. And if you annoy her, you'll get some off of her.
You'll
But
know,
other
yeah,
but other than that, she's not rising up to it. You know what I mean? But like
yeah,
even the chat that you and I had in person, like I
yeah,
said, very fun, very warm, and like immediately, like you got star potential, darling, star potential.
yeah. Oh, thank you very much. I like it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Well, I think it's that thing, isn't it? Like, I grew up around like men, really. I was brought up by my dad. When
Hmm.
you're in a boxing environment, you're around boys. I always wanted to be one of the boys in a way when I was younger.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like I wanted to be out and play football with the boys. I wanted to
Hmm.
go out and hang out with the boys. And And even now with my close friends are both men. It's sort of so, but it's like they don't see me as, oh, it's Raven, she's a girl. I am one of the boys in a way.
Just Raven.
And
You know, you're just their mate
but I'm
Raven.
just me. Yeah, that's it. And it don't matter. So I don't think it really matters. Like, I've got a few like good female friends, but I definitely get on with that kind of banter a bit better, that less seriousness, that joking, laughing kind of side. Definitely, I enjoy it. It's
Yeah.
good to be laughing.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm Jesse's one of 4 kids, all sisters. I've got 2 little girls, and my wife. Like,
Yeah.
we're just aliens. Like, you know, we're not
Yeah.
not the same even species half the time, are we? Let's
No,
be
that's
honest.
it. That's
You
it.
know what I mean?
That's it. And I think it's weird. Like, as a kid, I do remember. Obviously, when you're a kid, you influenced, aren't you, by your parents? And see, I lived with my dad, and I just remember watching the way my dad did stuff or walked or did this, and I think, oh, I need to imitate that. And then just like as I've got older, I'm like, oh, I need to stop doing that because I'm not actually a bloke. Like, I don't want to walk like a bloke. I don't want to talk like a bloke. Like, I'm still like I'm a tomboy, but I still like to be feminine if I
Yeah, of
can.
course.
Like, I'm not. But it's so there's things like as you get older, you start to realize like, oh shit, okay, yeah, maybe I should try and like do my hair a little bit better, or I should try and be a bit girly in this situation. But I think there's a time and a place, and
Exactly.
you know, when it comes to needing to dress up or put a bit of makeup on, I can do that okay. And then most of the time I'm not. But then I'm like, well, boxing isn't pretty. It's like, you know, you're a sweaty mess half the time. Like, half my life
That's
I
it, innit?
spend in sweatsuits and blooming messy, greasy hair. But I don't. That's how I actually feel comfortable. I feel more comfortable looking like that and walking around like that than I would say dressed up with my hair done.
So from your perspective now, with women's sport, which is
Yeah.
like massively on the up across the board, but women's boxing women's football, I think, are the 2 premier female sports out there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
For sure. What do you like? What has been the hardest part of the path to get to where you are now? Because you're 5-0, like you have a WBC international, #1 in the country according to BoxRec. Like,
Yeah.
these are good accolades early doors, and then
Yeah.
like the top 10 themselves in globally. You know, there's some monsters lurking around in there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
as you develop and stuff. So what has been like the most challenging part for the gender ceiling, as it were?
Do you know, I think it's just that sort of self-belief in a way, like believing that you deserve to be where you are, and that you can achieve what you want to achieve, and just having that motivation and that determination to push through whatever adversity it might be or anything like that. And just, you know, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to achieve. I love what I do, and I love boxing, and I couldn't see myself doing anything else. This is what, you know, sets my soul on fire. Like, I wouldn't want to sit and say work an office job, or even when I was working in the gym and stuff like that. It doesn't motivate me enough. I need that reason to go and do something, and having the routine of training and knowing what I'm doing every day it just works so well for me. So yeah, for me it's just that self-belief. I think sometimes it's easy, isn't it? Anyone can sort of go in and they say, or doubt themselves and stuff. And, you know, I've been through all that, and now it's sort of like, oh, well, I've stuck at it and I've gritted my teeth through the hard times. And now, you know, that rise is going up, and I'm in a good place, and I've got a good team around me. And I want to continue going on that trajectory and getting up to, like you say, into the realms of the beasts in my weight, and being up there with them and sitting on top.
What was the biggest change then? So what was the thing that got you through the tougher bits, the doubt and the self, you know, the restrictions that we put on ourselves?
Do you know what? It all comes down to just having the right people around you, I think, because you can, if you surround yourself with people that aren't going to motivate you, or, you know, push you to achieve what you want as well, then you're just going to end up not doing anything. It's like that saying, isn't it? You're around 5
Oh yeah. You're the
joke.
sum
It was
of the
like,
five people
yeah,
around. Yeah.
Yeah.
you're the sixth, and it's the same if you're around five successful people, you become the sixth person. And I definitely believe that, and but not even necessarily in that sense, but even in the sense of like, if you surround yourself with good people and happy
Mm.
people, obviously we're all human, not like that all the time, but in like a general sense, everything is a lot more fulfilling, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
Yeah.
for me, my circle's pretty small, but then I've got a wider circle and things like that. But my inner circle is small, and I'll keep it that way. And it's like my team is just filled with the people in my inner circle, and that's who I'm
Nice.
around most days. And as part of the team, if I can get something from that person, but they get something from me, and this person it's all, we're all there to push each other and be there in somewhere. So if they can benefit from something that I'm doing, and I can benefit from something what they're doing, that makes it all worthwhile, because that's what it's like to be part of that team.
See, it sounds like you're already in position to be the Queen of Queensberry, to be honest. It sounds like you're ready to have the minions on the way up, and you can be
that's
like
it. That's
the mother hen for them.
Just hold my scepter.
Well, for the next fight, I've had to get a load more blooming Team Raven Fight Team t-shirts for all the boys at Queensberry, because they want them. So I'm collecting my minions for sure.
Perfect. Minions and
Yeah.
fans, loyal.
Yeah.
Well, so how did you start boxing? Was it your dad decided that this is the time?
Well, my dad was just a martial arts nerd, really. He's
Nice.
done he's like a boxer, Muay Thai, kickboxer, wrestler, jiu-jitsu. He's done it all. He absolutely loves it. It's his passion. So I grew up around it a lot. My first love was actually football. I played football more, and I then got my dad into that because he was there watching me all the time and taking me to games and things. And then I think I just always said I wanted to be a boxer, but I never really knew how to do it. Like as a kid, you just I didn't have like a real clear thing of what I wanted to do. But from a young age, I always remember saying I wanted to be a boxer and an astronaut. One of them things.
It's a good mix. It's a good mix.
Yeah, they're the two I wanted to be. I don't have the attention span to sit and do
high
physics. Yeah, so
also,
boxing
let's
it
be
was.
real. Earth could be flat. Let's be real on that one. Like, space could be fake. There's all these things.
Well, my
picked the
dad
right
is
choice.
actually a scientist, so I think he'd fight you on that one.
Oh. Okay, well.
But yeah, so that's probably where I got that
never
from.
lies,
Like I say again, an astronaut and a boxer are two things that my dad is. Well, he wasn't an astronaut, but it's close
He's
to
a scientist.
it,
That's pretty sick.
Yeah. So so I definitely was influenced a lot by my dad, I suppose, growing up. But picking up my own things. But it's just a bit of. I wish I'd started properly sooner. Like my dad never forced me into anything, and it was kind of like I eventually just did it as I got to like my late teens, rather than really sticking at it as like a younger kid.
But it's hard though, because like I would love nothing more than for my two to one of them would do it. We've tried it with taekwondo. It was a little bit much, but then there's also this thing as a dad where you're like, I remember like watching football and golf with my dad. Hated it. But you do it for them, and you don't want to be in the situation where they're like they secretly hate it, but they just want to spend time with you. That's like I get why he didn't push you that hard on it.
And I think that's that thing. It's kind of like you sort of think, oh, I wish he'd pushed me, but then like, well, if he had pushed me, I probably wouldn't have wanted to do it. So it's one of those. Yeah, like I say, like I was always around the martial arts, but then I got massively into football. Like I say, so I wanted to play football with the boys when I was at school with my friends. I wanted to play, so I got into football, and I did that rather than doing boxing or kickboxing. So yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? If he had pushed me, I might not have wanted to do it in the end.
Yeah. Where's the style come from? Because it's a mega aggressive style, like very, very fan friendly.
Yeah.
Approved.
Yeah.
With power as well. With proper power.
Yeah, thank you. Well, again, a lot of that would have been from training my dad later on, sort of with my amateur days and stuff, we drilled a lot of Mike Tyson slipping and rolling. But I think
shows.
it did come naturally.
Yes.
I think I'm naturally an aggressive person. Like very rough and tumble. I'm not afraid to get stuck in, you know. There's no going light with me. It's full on or not. I don't have any in between. So I think that's kind of, it just suits me and my personality. And yeah, we did a lot of Mike Tyson, Roberto Duran drilling and stuff like that, and it's just instilled in me. So yeah, I think that's probably where it comes from.
Brilliant to watch, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
like I say, it's
severely effective.
very effective.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it. That feeling when you get in your groove and you're slipping and rolling and nothing's hitting you, and then you come back, like you say, with them big power shots. It's like oh yeah, like you just know it looked good because it felt
Yeah.
good,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know.
Run me through the next opponent, Lucy. Like, she's 15-1. She's decent.
Yeah.
What I mean, obviously, you can't give the game away, and I'm not even gonna bore you with like the technicalities of it. But like, what is it about? What have you seen from her that you're just like, you're getting it, you?
Well, I think like it's a real good opponent. It's good step up.
Very good.
It's good, you
Mhm.
know, good showcase what I've got. She's gonna be game. She's gonna come to win. You know,
Mhm.
for her, it gets her in those world contentions as well. So it's a big thing for her too. So I just, like you say, my style and what I do. You know, I don't really look at what the other person does. Like my coach will look at them, come up with a game plan, and then I just focus on what I do really well. And then the
Yeah.
game plan is based on obviously what they do, but I don't need to look at that. So I've not really watched anything of her. I've seen a little clip. She looks very good, tidy boxer. I just think I'll be too strong for
I agree. She
I
looks like she
think
could
so
also
too.
be a bit of a vampire. She's got kind of that, like, sort of like, you
From
know
the
what I
Czech
mean?
Republic. So
Yeah,
wherever
yeah,
he's
from the
from.
Republic.
yeah.
Dark hair, blue
Yeah.
eyes, a little bit like you
Yeah,
ain't
that's
been in the
it.
sun
That
for a while, you.
typical Eastern European look, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be an exciting fight, and like you say, a good one for the fans because she's going to be coming to win, and I'm just going to be being me, you know, what I do best.
What's the roadmap for you? After this fight, we deal with this one.
So I don't really know what the plan is. I know there is a plan. I know Steffi's got a plan, and Queens we have a plan, and obviously we all know what our plan would be. Is, you know, fighting Amanda Serrano for all the belts. Is, you know, I think that's what everyone in the featherweight division wants, isn't it? She's the champ. She's got the belts, and you know she's like a massive ambassador for women's sports as well. So obviously that's what I ultimately want. That's the ultimate goal, and to be tested against, you know, like a proper champion. That's what I want. I want to get the test. I want to have tough opponents. I want to be in fights because I love to go and have a fight and put on a good show, and that's, you know, it's all part of it. And so that would be obviously the ultimate goal. I don't know what the plan is next. I just take it on it one fight at a time, but you know, another sort of title would be nice, whether it's like a European.
I was going to ask you, at what point do you think that they start doing area titles for women and even the British? Because like the I know it's about the depth of the division.
Thickening out enough to get a British, surely.
Like yours is particularly on the deeper side in the UK because like Ellie Scotney's, there's like 4 of them total.
Yeah, I think there's a few weights where there's like 7 or 8 or even more girls in those weight categories. And like I say, you see some of the weight categories for men, especially the lighter ones, there's more women in their weight categories than there is in some of the men's ones. And it's like, it is getting there, but I think maybe it's to do with the quality and the depth rather than just the amount that there is. But
yeah,
it would be good. Obviously, British title is such an iconic belt, isn't it?
This is it. Like
it's you know, every male fighter wants to fight for the British title, don't they? Like that's like, yeah. And
if they
you
bring
know, a
that
lot
in,
of the
you can get the
time,
first one.
yeah,
That won't
that's
be
it.
bad.
That would be pretty good, wouldn't it? I wouldn't say no, that's for sure. But yeah, it's such an iconic belt, and yeah, it's a shame that we can't fight for it. I think they have done an area title for a female contest, like a northern one or something like that. I can't remember which one it was, but I think that was like one of the first area titles.
I think if you
Which is
dangle a
mad that they've
British,
got that.
you're gonna get like
Yeah,
a surge, aren't you? You're gonna get like,
Yeah.
because like
Because
the British
there's probably enough girls in the amateurs that are of caliber
act.
and of age to turn over. But
yeah,
without that carrot in front of them for like the areas and the British, that could be that little bit of incentive to get that little wave of like sign overs.
yeah, 100%. And I think there's definitely the talent there, like you say. It's having that opportunity in front of you
Mm,
that you can see it, which makes you think, oh, I can actually do that. I can go for that. That was always one thing that, like, I remember when I was in the amateurs and my weight category wasn't in the Olympics and stuff. So you're like, well, I've got here. Where else can I go? Because I can't get to the Olympics or GB and
Yeah.
stuff.
mm,
But then it kind of did all happen, and it's like, oh, okay, it's all sort of coming together. Like, I'm actually here now. So just being able to see it does make a difference. So, if they do introduce it, I do think a lot more British women would turn over. But then again, I don't know if people know that having that good career in the amateurs does help, like, for both the male and the female. If you've got a good amateur career, it
Fact.
can thrust you up a bit more when you
yeah.
turn pro. So you're not going straight onto a TV deal, or you're not on a ticket deal or small hall shows, things like that. Having a good amateur career behind you does help thrust that.
Yeah.
It's only since very recently that you even like Fabio Wardley is the only one that I can think of that is British champion, no amateur background whatsoever. Went down the white collar route, but that's because that's
Yeah,
becoming more and more popular. 20 years ago, white collars were like brand new,
yeah. I think it's
right?
just a lot easier to compete in white collar now,
Oh yeah,
isn't
It's
it?
accessible. It's like
just turn up.
Everyone's
if you're getting into it late, like you can just turn up in white collar.
Yeah, exactly. You can have a go. Yeah.
Mm.
But I don't know if the quality is getting any better though. That's the only thing I'm not too sure
Mm,
about.
I think it's hit or miss. I think
I
you
Yeah,
don't
got
think it
white collar.
changes.
There are white
Just
collar
what
no.
it
guys
is.
out there that are very good for white
Yeah,
collar guys, right? And
yeah,
then
yeah,
it's just different to amateur. The white collar
yeah,
guys are much
Yeah.
more likely to go into unlicensed, don't they, if they really want to
yeah.
take it
Yeah.
a
That's
step
it.
further.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, then get paid a little bit for what they're doing there, or they might become journeymen or something like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, who are your? This is like one of the classic ones, but obviously it's International Women's Day, so you can hype
Yeah,
this up. So, who are your inspirations in the sport? We'll go into the male side because obviously you've mentioned Tyson and Durant already,
yeah,
but
yeah.
for the queens, who are we saying?
Oh, so I always remember I was at school and I had to do a project on like sportswomen, and I did it on
Mm,
Lucia Riker, and just ever since then I really thought she was amazing. She did boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai.
yeah,
She fought men in the ring. She was in the movie, and just like one of the baddest women on the planet. So Lucia Riker was just someone that I really definitely did sort of like inspire me, I suppose.
mm,
And then more recent, I can really appreciate Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor,
yeah,
people that are really doing stuff for women's sport now. But I think I never really idolized anyone. I then
mm,
never
Mm,
looked up to someone in that way. I might look at people and think, oh, I like how they do this or that, but I'd never really idolized anybody. And I think I just always appreciated anyone who tried to do anything to be different or not necessarily follow the yellow brick road, if you like,
mm,
not going
mm-hmm.
down the normal route. Just anyone that was just like happy to be themselves and do what they want, whether that's male or female. I always just
yeah.
really was drawn to that and just sort of liked that about different people. But yeah, I wouldn't say I like sort of idolized anyone or really looked up to people in that sense, but I
Mm.
really liked seeing people on these like crazy mad journeys.
Have you found any sort of like barriers and stuff being a woman so far? or has it
Um,
been fairly progressive and open? And
I think for me, it's been more sort of fairly progressive and open. I don't know if I was just more sort of not lucky, but in a sense where I was opened into it. I say I don't know if that's because of how I am
yeah,
or what, but when I first sort of joined a club, I was doing a boxing class with my dad, and it was a local coach running it, and he saw something in me and sort of got me to join the actual amateur club and take it more seriously so that I could compete, because they saw something in me early on, which sort of was a push to join. So it was kind of like I was wanted to join, and
yeah,
then very much I was used to being the only girl, especially at that kind of time. There wasn't a lot of girls around, and I say you didn't really see much opportunities in terms of progression with it, and I didn't really know what I was doing properly at the time, training wise or
mm,
food wise and stuff, so I wasn't doing it properly. And then yeah, when I did sort of start taking it more seriously, and I was training with my dad like every day, twice a day, and things like that, and really taking the food properly, doing my
yeah,
nutrition, everything else. I never really, no, I never got any.
good.
Um, I just got a good support, just people trying to help me, and because people saw something in me. And I
Mm,
think along the way, I then, if anything, I just got more self belief.
nice.
Um, because as people pushing me to do it, if that's what I wanted
Yeah.
to do. So yeah, I say for my personal self, my journey has just been positive in that sense, in terms of being a female in the sport. I've never felt like I was a female in the sport.
How are you? So one of the biggest things we speak to fighters about is like the promotion side of for themselves.
Mm,
Social media is obviously one of the best tools out there.
yeah.
What path are you in? Are you very much so I'm a fighter and I'm a boxer, the promoters can promote, or are you also like secretly got the cameraman ready to go because you're about to go out for a run?
um, I'm
It's
probably
International
definitely.
Women's Day. I'm not gonna make lewd jokes about cameramen.
Oh God,
I
all
know.
you need to know. I'm definitely way more. I'm not gonna lie. I'm absolute shit on social media, and considering I'm absolute shit on social media, I actually don't do too bad on social media. I just personally, I don't relate to online.
Yeah,
So
Mhm.
being on Instagram or Facebook and stuff, I can flick through, I can flow through, but I don't really see anything of that. Like, it doesn't give me
yeah.
that much emotion to look at it or to message people. Like if someone needs me, I always say, if you send me a message, it might take me 2 to 3 weeks to reply. If you
You're the
need me,
opposite of
call
everyone
me.
else. Yeah, do you know what? If you phone me, I'm not picking up the phone. Like,
See, I was just like, oh,
it
just
means
call
something
me.
terrible has happened if someone's phoning me. I
I'm just
shit
likely to be
myself.
the
Yeah,
combination of both.
I'm
You don't
definitely
I
phone
just
like
go
or
missing.
that.
text you. Yeah, he vanishes for 2 years at a time. Him.
Bloody hell.
I know.
Yeah.
Pray for Jesse.
Yeah, no, I'm better. I am getting better, like, because I understand the importance of having a good profile on social media, but I think we put too much importance on it.
For
I
sure.
think it should be boxing primarily, social media second, whereas these
Mm,
days it's
Mhm.
social media primarily, boxing second.
yeah.
And I think that's the only problem with the sport at the moment, really, whereas you can get these really talented fighters that might not have that
Hmm.
social side, that people that they might not post all the time and things like that, but they've got more talent that someone that might post all the time but gets more opportunities. But I can see the need for both,
Mhm.
Mm.
because it is a business at the end of the day, hence why I say I am trying to get better, but for me it's just not something that I
It's just not
find
you.
natural. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
find it natural to do it, unless it's someone that I speak to all the time. I can message and go, yeah, cool. I'll reply straight away. If it's something where it's like, okay, I've got to think about my reply, I'll forget that I've got a reply. I'll forget, and that's why it takes me so long. And then it's been so long. You're like, oh shit, I can't reply now. It's been 3 weeks. I look like a right dickhead. So it's one of them.
Busy.
So
I'm sorry, I'm
yeah,
famous. What do you want from me? Like, you know what I mean?
that's what I guess. Like, oh, you're all famous now. Like, it's not that. Just call me if it's
But you just
important.
FaceTime them, but with the belt over the shoulder, and be like, "Yeah, I mean, I'm just."
I'm gonna do that.
Have
Sorry, I
to.
just had stuff to do. Yeah.
Sorry, I
Just
just
on
had to.
the-
Obviously, I
something
just had
else.
to. I've been doing the book signings. It wasn't even my book. You know what I mean? That sort of stuff.
Literally.
You need to do punditry. I think that's like the key for you. When Queensberry get a few more girls on the cards, like I think that's
You need
where
to
you're
throw
going
yourself
to
front of line for that.
Yeah, giving it
I'd
Natasha
love
Jonas.
to do it. Yeah, I'd love to do that. Like, that's something, like, I went to uni and I did sort of like media and stuff like that. So that's kind of stuff I'd love to get into. And we sort of spoken about it at the end of last year. They said they wanted to get me into more, and I'm like, well, when are they going to fucking get me on then? Like, it's been fucking 3 months. I still haven't done one yet. So hopefully
All
after
I'm going to
this fight,
say,
I'll
Michaela
push and I'll
Mayer's
get
at the
them on
Copper
there.
Box.
That's it. Yeah,
They need
exactly.
a pundit interlude. It can't all be Dev.
It
You
makes
know what I mean?
sense.
Just throw
It
the
makes
suggestion at 'em.
sense. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna do that. Don't you worry. I've got a plan now. But yeah, no, things like that. Like, I'd love to do it, and I think that's definitely a possibility for me doing that in April. So yeah, I'd love to do it. I love talking about boxing.
On that note, I'm gonna say we'll end this here, and then we'll have you back on after you've picked up another illustrious victory. It's been
Yeah,
an absolute
100%.
pleasure, Raven. Absolute
Yeah,
pleasure.
thanks
And,
for
like,
having me. Thank
all
you.
the
Thanks for
best.
joining us.
We will double panel that night on the live stream because we was going to do the boxer
Oh
card,
yeah.
but obviously now we've got to have
No, we're
Raven
not.
on
Now
the
we're
other.
gonna have Raven on.
Yeah, we both.
Yeah.
We do both. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay,
Very, very
thanks for
best
having
of
me,
luck.
guys.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Border putting
What a
that in
champ.
post up. Yeah, she's
What a champ.
cool, isn't she?
Yeah. Mega fan.
Now, I asked her about the tattoo on her face.
Oh, you're
What
wounded.
what an absolute loss. You know what I mean?
I know.
Just next time she's on,
And
she's
the
on, that's the
reasoning,
first question.
will not be released until she's asked
exactly.
him the next one. So
Yeah, we might put it
teasing
on the page,
that for the Patreon.
Patreon.com/fighting words. Yeah, hi, how are you? By the way, great fight, but also talk about the face tat, please.
We've been waiting.
Yeah, we've been waiting for weeks. Big fan.
Yeah,
Right.
massively.
But
Like,
super articulate and fun to talk to.
yeah, like proper able to direct a conversation and hold a conversation about multiple layers of boxing and fighting and life.
Yeah, I actually think she would actually be a laugh on her live.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how many beers though. You might have to restrict on that one.
Yeah, restrict the beers, especially Iowans.
Yeah. Speaking of you, and rest in power. Do not, under any circumstances, on our live for Dan Aziz, don't not ask him about what happened in the forest, or don't not ask him about what happened this weekend in Porto, because I think the hashtag at one point, pray for Ewan, came out again. The illustrious producer Ewan, he's on 8 cans. That's why he said in the group chat, that 8 cans will be enough, because he's tested the boundaries, is what he's been doing.
He knows reality and where it stops.
He really does. But also back to Miss Chapman,
Raven,
the Omen. So Dad's a scientist / martial arts guy.
Martial arts guy. That's a pretty powerful combination.
That's pretty dangerous. Wasn't there that geezer in
we're
Ippo?
bro scientists. Does that count?
You remember the dude from Ippo? The one that's like, if I punch him 2.5 centimeters here, he's going to freeze for 17 seconds. That's her dad.
That's him. He's got all of the information about the body.
Yeah, he knows. I don't know
punches,
what kind of scientist he is, but
science. It's all complicated.
Science. It's in previous areas they called it magic. Let's be honest on
alchemy.
That one.
Alchemy, magic. It's all science. It's magic.
Like when we started, one of the first questions for me was like, how did the Queensberry thing come about? But I understand.
Yeah,
now,
I bet that Queensberry have probably been in a position where they didn't know who they could actually venture into it with, and they've probably been like, oh, we've got cold feet now. Yeah, and Raven turns up and they're like, that's it. That's our flag bearer. and she really can become. She could become like the Queen of Queensberry
Yeah,
very
because
easily.
she's got like Ellie Scottney's demeanor,
Yep,
and she can fight like Ellie, but she's got power.
got decent power and like
Yeah.
vicious power as well.
Yeah, for featherweight as well.
Like mean with it, turns it on and
She-
like really cracks.
Surprisingly big, like surprisingly tall in person.
Yeah,
She was here on me.
for a featherweight, wow.
Yeah, 5'7", 5'6", 5'7". She's quite tall. Yeah. I think we've just entered a new queen into the FW realms. Wouldn't say harem
sure.
because it's International Women's Day and the harem is full.
Yeah,
On your side.
it's a different place.
Yeah, Susie dominates and populates.
Yeah.
Right. On that note, Jesse Page. See you Saturday.
See you Saturday.